Hi guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. Today I'm going to be discussing the importance of checking your bills of lading before you leave the customer. Shippers can sometimes really screw up. They don't always put the product on, they put the wrong addresses, they cancel loads, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, ring the little notification bell, because whether you're just considering trucking or you're an experienced driver, I need you here, okay? The experienced drivers are being awesome and leaving tips in the comments to help the new drivers. Whether you're going into CDL school, you're trying to go through training and you're getting frustrated, or you're out in your first year as a rookie and it's kind of scary. So there's a lot of info here and a lot of great people, so stay tuned. So anyway, back to the bills of lading. Okay, it's really important to double check the addresses. If you drive reefer, make sure you check the reefer setting. I've had instances where Prime was told that I was going to be at -1 or -10, and here the load changed and it was a different product that was ordered. So the reefer setting was supposed to be 35 degrees. That's what the bill said. If I would have gone and abided by what Prime told me rather than what the bills say, then we would have had some serious issues. So another instance that happened was an address. Okay, I wound up repowering a load from a brand new driver. He'd only been driving for a couple months. He didn't realize that it was a multi-stop load, and the customer, the shipper, changed the locations of the load. So Prime was saying you have 3 stops, but Prime thought there were 3 stops in Texas. Happened to be 2 in Texas and 1 in Phoenix. The whole order got completely changed. This new driver didn't grasp that, and Prime only found out when we swapped the loads and I delivered the rest of the load, and I was like, oh, that's not where this load's supposed to be going, guys. We got to fix this. So I wound up getting an extra like 1,500 miles out of that load. Woohoo! It was awesome. But so these are the kinds of things to look for. Also, make sure that your carrier is listed on the bill of lading. I went to a customer one time that they told me, go to door 38. Your trailer is being loaded in door 38. Just pull in front of the trailer. Well, when I get out there, there's a Martin trailer in door 38. So I go back inside to the customer and they're like, wait, there's not supposed to be a Martin there. There's supposed to be a Prime there. I'm like, well, it's a Martin. And then somebody hollered over and said, oh, I just gave him the bills. Well, the shipper screwed up. They put my load, my Prime load, on another driver's trailer, on a different company. And when they did that, that driver did not even look on his bills to make sure. They gave him my bills that said Prime on them with my trailer number on it. Then I pulled in front of him. I keep beeping. Sorry. But I pulled in front of him and I told him, you have my product. He's like, no, what are you talking about? Get out of my way. I got to get going. I'm like, you have my product. And he didn't want to move. And I had to block him with my tractor. And it's all because he didn't bother to, to take the 2 minutes to make sure that he had the right load. He had my paperwork, my trailer number, and he didn't even stop to question, oh, maybe they just gave me the wrong person's bills. No, but then he had to wait for another 3 hours for them to unload the product and give him his product. And then I had to wait for my product to get off of his trailer and put into mine. So these kinds of things happen. So you really have to pay attention. If you're not, then you're assuming that everybody else is doing their job as good as you are. You can't ever assume that, because you'll wind up in situations. I had a load that came across the border from Mexico, and I was in Laredo, Texas. This load was going all the way up to Michigan. Woohoo! Good paying load, right? The problem was, though, when it came across the border, customs broke the seal and then put a new seal on it. Our seals, you know, they protect the integrity of the load. The whole point of the seal is to make sure nobody opened that trailer during transit. Well, on the custom paperwork, they never changed the seal on the paperwork. If I would have gotten all the way to the customer, 1,800 miles or 1,900 miles or whatever it was, to go deliver that, they could have rejected that whole load. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of meat that I was bringing up there. Happens, or even if it was produce, but this was meat. But you have to be aware that these situations happen. And you have to do your best to make sure that, you know, you prevent problems from happening. And I did wind up having to sit there for 5 hours waiting for customs to fax over new paperwork with the correct seal number. But sitting there for 5 hours saved me a lot of aggravation on the end. It really did. And when you catch these type of mistakes, it builds the trust of your fleet manager, dispatcher, DM, whatever you call them, builds the trust of dispatch in you and the kind of job that you do and the efficiency, your thoroughness, and, you know, to be thorough. That means that your dispatch doesn't have to worry about you. If you're catching everybody else's mistakes, when you make a mistake, trust me, it's not going to matter. One time my fleet manager made a slight little mistake where I didn't get paid $10. I don't remember what it was for, a cat scale ticket or something. And I said to him, don't worry about it. Just remember, when I screw up, you know, don't hold it against me. And he laughed and he was like, oh, it takes so long for you to make a mistake. I'll forget by then. I'm just going to go fix it in your pay. And that really made me feel good. And when I do have mistakes, and I told him, I was like, I make mistakes every day. They're not big enough for you to know about. Well, I'm always getting lost and having to turn around in places that are too tight to turn around and stuff like that. But that's just the life out here. That's just the job. When you do mess up, or like one day I was sick and I woke up too late and I didn't make the load late, but I did cause him a little bit of not stress, but extra work. I gave him 24 hours notice that he was going to have to swap the load out with another driver. And guess what? Within 5 minutes, boom, there it was. He already had a new driver set up for me and said, okay, well, you told me that you could get to this location, so when you get there, let me know. And that's it. So these types of things, you know, it goes much further than just protecting the load. It builds that relationship. Something else to understand is that loads get canceled sometimes. So you can be on your way to go get a load, and then all of a sudden you get a message saying, oh, it's canceled. Well, you'll get paid for the miles that you drove, plus whatever miles you need to get to the next customer. But every once in a while, like, there was one load I had, a Tyson load, and it was supposed to be going to Nashville, and I wound up like 50 miles from Nashville, 50 miles from the delivery, and they sent me a load assignment mid-shipment, and they were like, oh, Tyson decided that customer doesn't need the product as much as their customer in Pennsylvania. You know, what's an ETA for you to get to Pennsylvania? Well, that's another 800 miles. Hello, it's not happening today. But this is part of the flexibility that you need to be in trucking. Things change all the time. So always make sure that you know it's on your bills, you check your address, you understand that loads will get canceled or changed at various times. You know, stops will get changed. Product sometimes gets changed. So understand how much your truck weighs, both bobtail and then empty with the trailer empty. That's important, because if you get a bill that says you're supposed to have 45,000 pounds in the trailer, but you get on a scale and total weight is only 40,000 pounds with the truck and the trailer and supposedly the 40,000 pound load, then they didn't give you the product they were supposed to. Either, something, the order got changed, they didn't have enough of the supplies, something happened. One time I wound up getting on a scale and I was like, wait a minute, I'm way too heavy. Like, the bill said I only had like 10,000 pounds in the box, but I was way heavy. So I wound up finding out that this was a multi-stop load, and they only gave me the bills for one of the receivers. They were missing 2 stops for those bills. If I would have left there, technically I'd be breaking the law, because you have to have your bill of lading when you're transporting items. And so, but I would have gotten to that customer, and they would have, those 2 customers, and they would have been like, where's the bills? I don't know. Some people get annoyed with some of the procedures that some companies make you go through. Like at Prime, I have to enter it into the Qualcomm, and then I have to call into Prime Dispatch and confirm all the information I just gave them. And really what that is it's like a safety net. It's to double check that I really did look at the address, I really did look at the weight, I really know what I have. And like I said, sometimes there have been people that have set the reefer wrong. You have to go by what's on those bills. You could destroy product that, tens of thousands of dollars. It's not worth it, because then there goes the trust that your fleet manager has on you. There goes the company's money. There goes the company's reputation. So you want to do your best out here. Double check everything. And I'm talking about bill of lading, but in another video I was talking about routines. Have a routine for everything, for your pre-trip, for your picking up and dropping your trailers, and routine for everything, and you'll make fewer mistakes over time. Something about the bill of lading too, make sure that you always put the time and date that you arrived there and the time and date where you left. Now Prime has this thing, they call it a detention stamp, because we get paid detention, and basically it says the address, your appointment time, the time that you arrived, your appointment departure, and then the seal in and out. When I talked about seal earlier, the seal integrity, this has a line for the seal coming in, and if you have multi-stop loads, then you have a seal going out also. So if you record this on your bills, you're basically proving, you're supposed to have the customer sign saying that the seal was intact, but you're basically proving that those were the seals that were on you when you dropped off and you picked up, and the trailer hasn't been open. You're protecting yourself, but at the same time, this is also going to get you paid your detention time. Detention's important, especially in reefer division. If you've watched any of these videos, then you've seen that I was sitting in a meat plant recently. I said her name wrong before. I think I called her Maria. I thought it was Maria, and I think it's Mayra. But Mayra Vet Nieves, she's so cute, little Puerto Rican lady. She's so cute. But she was in a meat plant, and her videos are very real to life. She shows you, like, she was at a meat plant for 40 hours straight, and there was a train going by right next to the trucks parked, like every hour. Well, how do you sleep with that? The horn blowing the whole time. These are some of the things that, we wind up going through. And if you don't use the detention stamp like that, make sure that, you might not have a detention stamp at your company, but always put the date and the time that you arrived and the date and time that you left. And that will, or maybe your company does it differently. They might have you do a macro in the PeopleNet or the Qualcomm or whatever it is you guys are using, Zonar, but make sure you understand what the procedure is as far as detention. And the seal numbers are important too. I've had shippers put the wrong trailer numbers, the wrong seal numbers on the bills. These are more issues that you just don't need. They're just more headaches. So address, temperature, trailer number, seal number, and obviously if you're flatbed, you don't use seals. I know those guys are sitting here going, they're barn door swingers, or I don't know what they call us, door swingers, or you know, I don't know. You guys are flatbedders. Go ahead and put below what you guys call us. I don't know, but don't call me anything nasty though. I'm still a girl. Just make sure that everything's correct and matches. And even load numbers. When you go into a customer, I've had several situations where my pickup number, I would give my pickup number and there'd be a number that was really close, but it wasn't the right one, and they would give me a trailer number and say, okay, go get this trailer. And then once I got that, it would turn out that that wasn't actually my pickup. They was assigned to somebody else, another prime driver, and we were picking up from the same customer and then delivering to the same customer. So, you know, make sure that you have the right pickup number as well. Address, pickup number, seal number, trailer number, temperature, carrier. There's a lot involved in bills. Weight. There's a lot involved in bills, and people just seem to overlook them. You know, sometimes and something else about bill of ladings is that these customers sometimes get some kind of a tax incentive to split up the loads into different POs. So you might have a purchase order that is, you know, 5 different purchase orders all going to the same customer, but you have all these different bills. You have 5 different bills, and you're like, what the heck did these people do? Now I gotta sit here and add up how many pallets and how much the weight was and all that. It really has something to do with their taxes. So make sure your PO numbers match too. If you are currently a driver, please comment below with the worst shipment issue that you ever remember. And if you are a new driver, comment below with any questions you might have as far as bill of lading. And please like, comment, subscribe, ring the little notification bell. And I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.